What's up, everybody? This is Zach with the Nerd Cave Podcast. This is episode 231, and I'm joined along with the bearded sultan himself,
Robbie Rolls.
Robbie, we got some news to get into. But before we do that, you can get this podcast early if you go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. You just throw us a few dollars, make Robbie holla, and you get it either audio or video, or you could watch the live stream just like the people are right now. So you could do all that good stuff.
Yeah.
$1, you get Let's Plays, you get the live stream. $5, you get the live stream and the Let's Plays and early access to the audio, the edited audio podcast, and on forth and so forth.
If you're really cool, you would listen to the YouTube video on silent and have another phone with the podcast, and you play them at the exact same time.
So it lines up.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a lot of work.
Or you could subscribe on YouTube and subscribe on iTunes and comment, share, and all that good stuff everywhere.
I'm trying to think of new intriguing ways.
Intriguing ways, like Inception. Wow.
No, if you want Inception, just take the playback speed and put it down to, I think it's 2.5 is the lowest speed you can get on playback for YouTube.
No, you can do 0.5.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, do that. Hang on every word. Every
single
word. Or if you don't have those dollars to toss, we understand that as well. You can go over to youtube.com/nerdcave network and get the podcast day by day, segment by segment until Friday, where we put up the whole kit and caboodle just for you. I got it right this week.
There we go.
So let's get into it. Electronic Arts has acquired Respawn Entertainment, the creators of Titanfall. After years of working together on Titanfall, EA has announced it has acquired series creator Respawn Entertainment. Previously, only a EA partner with Titanfall, Respawn was founded by Jason West and Vince Zampella, two of the original creators of the Call of Duty series. The two were fired by Activision after the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and after founding Respawn Entertainment signed a publishing deal with EA for the Xbox One launch title Titanfall. They followed it up with Titanfall 2 in 2016, a critical darling that didn't meet sales expectations, most likely because it was released directly between the launches of Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, and Battlefield 1, which was just a crap fest for Titanfall. Like, EA was just like, all right, walk that way. You have a gun, sir. Walk that way. I promise it will be okay. And then, like, Battlefield and Call of Duty just come out of nowhere, just like Phil Titanfall, full of those. EA summarized the details of the acquisition. Under the agreement, EA will pay $151 million in cash and up to $164 million in the long-term equity in the form of restricted stock units to employees, which will vest over 4 years. In addition, EA may be required to pay additional variable cash considerations that contingent upon achievement of certain performance milestones relating to the development of future titles through the end of the calendar 2022. The additional consideration is limited up to $140 million. Sources tell that the studio is divided about the acquisition, with many people not happy being under a larger publisher again. Separate sources have also told us that the founder, Vince Zampella, plans to stay. Now, EA bought Respawn for $400 million.
That's a lot of dollars.
$400 million. Can you imagine $400 million?
No,
That's so much money.
Now, what's interesting is what's happening at EA. So, Nexon, which is this Chinese, I think it's Chinese or Japanese publishing company, made a bid for Respawn. EA has first dibs on it since they're a partner.
Yeah.
To make another bid. EA then closes Visceral Games. EA then buys Respawn. Do you think that something was going on here? Is it Nexon?
I looked up Nexon and it came, it's a Korean company.
Yeah, okay. I feel, and from what I've been reading, Old Jason Schreier over at
Huh.
Kotaku has done some digging.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This article I found with the Ars Technica. I don't know how to say that.
Yep.
Anyway,
Art
so
Technica.
EA shut down one of their other things.
Visceral Games. Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. As a response to another game publisher, Korea's Nexon making a bid formulated by Respawn outright. Nexon currently publishes a mobile spin-off of the Titan shooter series.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trying to be like, well, we do this, so let's do that. And then EA was like, no, ours.
Yeah. So from what I've read, Respawn is actually working on a Star Wars title. It was one of the 3 that was announced. DICE's Battlefront, Visceral's Star Wars game with Amy Hennig, and then Respawn had a game. From what has been said, Respawn's game, and they've only been working on it a short term of time, looks better than what Visceral's was looking like. And Visceral had been working on it a long time, and a lot of that kind of went into EA's decision to shutter Visceral Games and then buy out Respawn outright.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, go with the polished pony, I guess.
Yeah, people were going to give out the better quality product.
And it still irks me.
I was about to say, is it underhanded?
Yeah, it is. Because Visceral was actually a EA, made company. Like, it wasn't one that they bought. Yeah. But if you don't know, just go Google studios that EA has murdered. I mean, shut down. Sorry.
There's a long list.
There's a very long list. Blue Frog is one of them.
I'll look it up in a second.
Allie's going to look up the list of murders that they've acquired.
Apparently, Respawn they're also working on a VR game. That was announced at Oculus Connect 4 last month. Yeah.
So they're working on a Titanfall 3, that's confirmed.
Yeah.
They're working on a Star Wars game, and they're working on this Oculus Rift game. I'm not sure how big Respawn is, but it definitely says a lot about it.
I was trying to type down, shut down, and the first thing that pops up is studio at EA has killed.
No,
I mean, it's a known thing.
I know, it's funny.
EA...
we have Bullfrog Productions.
Yep, Bullfrog. Yep.
Bullfrog. Westwood Studios. Origin Systems.
Yep. What's funny is
New FX.
Yep. Pandemic, which was amazing. Pandemic was awesome.
Playfish. Sounds familiar.
Don't really remember them.
Black Box Games.
Mm-hmm.
DreamWorks Interactive.
Yep. DreamWorks was good.
Phenomic Game Development. Victory Games. Mythic Entertainment. Maxis Software. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Visceral Games. And
what I'm getting to is they have a very long track record. How many was in that list? Just scroll down.
I think it said it was either 11 or 12. I don't remember.
That's a bunch. Okay, that's a bunch of studios to kill.
Oh yeah.
Now PlayStation, Sony, they've shuttered a few. Microsoft shuttered a few recently as well. Yeah. But it's not on the scale that EA has done.
EA chews and spits people out like bubble gum.
I'm going to go ahead and call the next one. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. BioWare is the next one to die.
That I have yet to ever shed a tear due to developers getting canned. Like
I would
BioWare would probably make me tear up a little bit.
Well, we see them at a very precarious situation right now from Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, they are in a very, very, just precarious place.
And it's just down.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that with Anthem, they will, rocket past. They'll, just be amazing and all of that.
I think that what will happen is they'll give them Anthem, and then, because we know that they are working on we're not working on the next Dragon Age game, because they're casting people for it. So I think they'll give them those 2 chances. Dragon Age will definitely, just because everyone loves Dragon Age, at least people who are into it, they love it. So that'll do well, and Anthem, as far as we've seen, which has only been a little bit, looks really interesting. So I think they'll be able to save themselves as long as they but they have to produce really good content for the next.
Oh yeah.
good few years.
So let's just hope.
But if they shut down, I will cry.
I'll
hold like a little funeral and be like,
one day Respawn will be murdered as well. They're all coming for you.
Anytime you get in bed with these big old companies, I mean, there's always the chance, especially with EA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have something in my clause, like written, like where I have an out.
Yeah,
but
it's scary. This is another interesting development this week from EA.
I like this.
FIFA 19 and Madden 19 may not get a release. EA tout subscription model. For over 15 years, EA Sports has released annual iterations of its most popular sports series. However, in an interview with Bloomberg, EA CEO Andrew Wilson has said that the company is considered ditching yearly releases, referring specifically to FIFA and Madden series and online updates. Wilson said that he views these games as a 365-day live service. There's a world where it gets easier and easier to move that code around, where we may not have to do an annual release, he's told Bloomberg. It seems that EA is in its preliminary stages of discussing on how to proceed with its two major sports franchises and whether to plow ahead with the plan simply update FIFA and Madden in future iterations. Whether that outcome will affect the release of FIFA 19 and Madden 19 remains to be seen. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Here are my quick one because I want to hear yours. I don't actually mind this because I'm pretty much gone totally digital here. If they go this route, they are cutting a lot of people off. That's my big concern there is they're cutting a lot of people off that do not buy digital games because their internet is crap. I was there. You were there. We all understand how that is. So they're cutting a lot of people off there, and especially if it requires you to be online to play the game, like if it's an always online game. If it's where you download the game and then you don't have to be connected, and like you buy the game essentially, and then if you want to keep getting updates, you pay for the service or whatever. Yeah. I think that would be interesting. If you bought the last game, like if you bought Madden 18 or FIFA 18, would it let you like have it installed and then it just updates from then on, like as long as you pay the subscription? Like I'm curious about those things. So what are your thoughts here?
There's a lot of things that are still up in the air, but the biggest concern is going to come to what's going to happen in franchise mode, because that's what drives a lot of your games on Xbox and PlayStation, because you have thousands upon thousands, probably. I mean, I don't even know how many, but 32 team franchises. I know I'm in them. Nick Caputo's in them. You're going to have to come up with something to appease them, because I wouldn't mind it being an every 2-year thing. Hey, it's going to save me a little bit of money in the long run.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to come up with some kind of update, because, I know in some of my Madden leagues, I can go 3, 4, 5 years before it starts dwindling down, because by that time you're 5 seasons in, and all the new rookies for the next Madden, the next Madden's about to come out, so everybody's getting ready for it.
Yeah, EA's
going to have to put some kind of update in there that's going to add the rookies from that 2019's draft year into the game to be able, because who wouldn't want some of these outstanding QBs, wide receivers, defensive players that's in the NCAA right now?
Well, I think that if they go this route where it's a continually updating thing, like when the next year comes up, they will of course update it. Because if you look at the last NCAA game, like people are still putting out downloadable rosters because that's something you can do, and keeping that game relevant, if you will. It's a 360 PlayStation 3 game, but they're continually putting out updated rosters that you can download. So of course they're going to do that. They're going to have stats, and like they would even have it probably where during the season, if somebody's doing really well, their stats get better. If they are bombing every time, their stats are going to get worse. My curiosity is, how is it going to affect the bottom line? Are they going to charge every year for a game? Like, is it going to be $60 for to be able to play FIFA every year with updated rosters and support 365.
So are you talking about after, like, all right?
I'm talking about each year, and like we know that not every year there's these huge overhauls. It's like every 3 years are a big, change for the game. Most of the time it's just like incremental little things. Yeah. Is it going to be every year they just do roster updates with some cleaning and some more effects, with physics and everything? Or is it going to be like are you going to get charged $60 every year for that? Or are you going to, I doubt that they're going to make it less than what it is now.
See, then that's where they're going to run into the issue. You're not giving us I mean, like I said, this is still fairly new. We don't know any details on
this just came out this week.
Like, so I know a lot that's going to irk a lot of people because you're not getting what feels like a finished product. You're just, would you pay $60 for an update? I mean, that's
no, I wouldn't.
That's where it's going to go, and that's where a lot of people who are playing these 32-man
leagues. And that's pretty much what you're paying for each year is an update.
And I mean,
if you bought it, have you bought it digital this year?
Yeah, I did.
Then there you go. You just paid $60 for an update.
And trust me, I understand. But yeah,
and we've done it every year. That's what I'm saying is like they're not going to charge less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might be, if I was doing it and I wanted to keep people interested and vested in this, I would charge $60 up front. And when there was a big update, when we've improved graphics or we've put a new physics engine in there or we've added something new to the gameplay mechanics, then it would be another $60. But the rest of the time, it would be like $30 that year. If it's just a roster update, with some new stuff, new music going in there, that sort of deal, I would make those years less. But that's me being from a consumer side of thing.
I mean,
and again, we just read off a list of of publishers. I'm not publishers, developers that this company has killed.
Yeah.
So
that's not. They're not morally sound.
And I know this isn't in the. Man, you're killing my camera over there, scratching my lens. I know this is not in the news this week, our articles. But it's a simple machine, like a pulley.
I didn't want to make it.
Take-Two Interactive has put out they was in their sales calls or whatever, quarterly calls, that microtransactions are now making more than selling games.
Oh my God.
So we've lost the war.
Good job.
So.
Good job, people. I mean, you failed us.
I'm saddened. Like, I'm going to keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't bought a microtransaction.
I haven't bought a game that has a microtransaction. I didn't buy Assassin's Creed. I didn't buy Shadow of War. I just wanted to point that out because EA is going down that path as well. Yeah. But, when you've got like games that aren't broke, like GTA is not broke. Like you can earn all of that stuff in GTA, like the cash that it takes, but of course you could pay it for it as well. The ones that are broke are like
Call of Duty.
I'm even talking about Call of Duty. I'm talking about Take-Two is NBA 2K. Like it is completely jank right now.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing is because me and you haven't even bought it. We bought it for ever. And this year it's just like, we're good, man.
I've been playing since like 2K10, 2K11, and I've bought it every year since, but
not this year. PlayStation trophies, though, have been doing something pretty nice. PlayStation trophies can now be used to pay for games. Sony in the US is adding a new incentive for trophy hunters. You can now trade in your exploits for PSN credit. Announced by Sony, the Sony reward system now allows players to register their achievements in return for a little kickback. Here's how your trophies break down in points. 100 silver trophies equals 100 points. 25 gold trophies equal 250 points. And 10 platinum trophies equal 1,000. As you might expect, the payoff here isn't gigantic. 1,000 points breaks down to $10 of credit, meaning it take a whole lot of time to play time to afford your regular AAA game. So it's pretty much like 100 silver trophies, 100 points is like $1, and then 25 is like $2.50. So it's not a lot. Sony Rewards is a U.S. only incentive, so other territories may well get the same benefit. We've contacted Sony and asked if that's the case. The big thing about this, though, is this is not retroactive. This is not retroactive. I say again, this is not retroactive. So even like Greg Miller, he's got like 60 something platinums.
What's the point?
He's not going to get the money off of that. So if you are interested in this, I highly suggest everyone right now looking up how to link your trophies to this. So as you play, you can start earning that cash and everything for using on like the PlayStation Store and everything. So it's not going. It's kind of like going to Chuck E. Cheese. You might have like 1,000 tickets, and then you get like the rubber spider. You know, it's
1,000. You definitely get the vampire teeth, man.
Oh yeah, the vampire teeth. So it's kind of like a carnival type deal. You're not getting a lot for what it is.
Half of a roll of Smarties.
But it is nice to see that they're actually trying something that incentivizes a little bit more. And a lot of people, you know, I'm not as big of a trophy hunter as I was an achievement hunter back in the day, but I do love to see some trophies pop. So it'll be nice to get a little love back from them. So I'm liking that.
I don't like that it's not retroactive.
I don't like that it's not retroactive either.
They
but
should have like a limit. Maybe it's like, oh, the last, say, I don't know, like 5 or 10 trophies you got could count.
Yeah, that would be nice, but then they'd be losing money. So
yeah, but like more often, like more likely than not, the last 5 or 10 trophies people got are more likely than not going to be like silver and bronze.
Oh, they're
especially
going to
with
be
new
bronze.
games that are going to come out.
Yeah, they're going to be more likely bronze.
No, I've gotten a few silver with like Assassin's Creed and stuff.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like bronze pop way quicker than anything
That's what I'm saying.
else.
It's like by them doing that, like they would lose nothing.
Yeah, they would get
better.
more goodwill than ill will on the retroactive thing.
Because now I'm just sad.
Yeah. You know who is not sad? Activision. Call of Duty World War II sells twice as much as Infinite Warfare at launch. Activision has announced that recently released Call of Duty World War II has done extremely well in its first 3 days on sale. How well, you ask?
How well?
Oh, in time, the game's global sales have doubled that of its predecessor, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, to the tune of 500 million in sales. Furthermore, on the PS4, which has a time-exclusive deal for DLC, the title has set the record as the best-selling digital full game by units sold on its first day of availability.
You want to know why it did better?
Because it went back to World War II?
That and Infinite Warfare was horrible. This game, I got the last one for free, and I got this one for free. This one I've played. The last one I got for free, played 5 minutes of it, never touched it again.
I want to play the story. I want to play the story and just see. Like, I never have, but I do want to play the story.
I mean, you could try.
But, you know, I'm not going to buy it.
I'm about to say.
I'm not going to buy it. But, you know, somebody wants to give me a code, I'll play it. But so far, like, I know I've been playing the campaign. You played a little bit of the multiplayer. And I'll give more of my thoughts. I'm wanting to do an impression this week of it. Hopefully finish it before I do that. It feels like a rock group that has come back for a tour. Like, let's say Journey goes on tour. Okay, best of Journey, you know. They even get Steve Perry to come out of retirement. Like, they don't have the fill-in singer that they've had for a really long time. I can't remember his name. They actually get Steve Perry to come and sing with them.
Steve Perry died.
Is he dead?
Fact check.
I'll fact check.
I think Steve Perry's still alive. I know he has cancer. But you know what they're going to be singing. You know what they're going to be singing. You know all the hits.
Wheel in the Sky.
You know, it's all there.
Wheels in the sky keep on going.
It looks like he's still alive.
Okay, good. Okay, and that's what it feels like for Call of Duty World War II. And for some people, they really like it. For me, I'm kind of like, all right, big bombshell goes off, ringing in my ear. Everything's blurry. Guy comes up, get up, son. And you're like, yes, sir. Like you start running and go kill more Nazis. And that's pretty much what the game's been.
Yeah.
Like they've introduced some new mechanics and everything. Like you don't respawn your health. You have to use like health packs and everything. And that's like, all right, it's annoying. You know, I'm much more cautious with it because it's not like, oh, I hide behind this wall and now you know that stuff. But it definitely feels like a best of Call of Duty. It doesn't feel like anything is fresh. You know, oh, we're gonna get in the Jeep, we're gonna drive around. Oh, there's people, let's mow them down. Oh, now you gotta get on the turret, man. You gotta get on the turret. There's Nazis. There's Nazis everywhere. We gotta mow them down.
In the defense of this, which I can't believe I'm about to defend.
No, it's okay.
When your wheelhouse are all these wars,
yeah,
you're going to get repetitive at some point. Battlefield is going to be getting repetitive soon because we just went back in time again.
Yeah.
To World War II.
World
War One. Sorry.
Yeah. The Great Wars, they call them.
Yeah, and
good YouTube channel. Shout out to them.
And like, it's so hard to get like fresh new ideas and everything like that. I mean, and nobody's going to touch like a Civil War or the Revolutionary War.
No,
because you're not going to want to sit there like, oh, there's a guy, let me go kill.
I remember the History Channel made a Civil War game.
Oh my God.
I never played it. I wanted to, but I've never played it.
I remember that.
I don't know. It doesn't feel fresh. The story, like, I don't remember any. It starts with a Z, but I don't remember his name. I don't remember any of my squad mates' names. Like, it's just like, okay. All right. So I'm hoping by the end of it I feel different, but what I've been shown so far, it's just kind of same old. But
new coat of paint.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
It is gory. I've watched a man get like his top of his body blown off. So it's like Saving Private Ryan, but you're in it.
Oh,
that's pretty much it.
I think of that, and I think of the guy holding his intestines every time I think of Saving Private Ryan.
You know, there's some things you can't save. Telltale Games has laid off 25% of staff as part of the company's restructure. Telltale Games, the developers behind the choice-based episodic series The Walking Dead, Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm going to add my favorite, The Wolf Among Us, has announced 25% of its staff has been laid off company-wide. The reduction affects 90 staffers across all of Telltale's divisions, but are, according to a press release, not going to affect Telltale's already announced slate of games, which includes the new seasons of The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us. The decision is designed to make the company a leader in player-driven narrative games, more competitive as a developer and publisher of the groundbreaking story-driven gaming experience with an emphasis on high quality in the years ahead. A statement from the company reads, I guess this is the CEO down here. I'd like to express our respect for all the contributions that these incredibly talented artists, storytellers, and more have made to this company, and that this decision is in no way a reflection on the quality or dedication of their work. Telltale CEO Pete Hawley, who recently stepped into the position, said in his statement he elaborated that the goal of the restructure will be to produce fewer but better games with a smaller team. Now, reading that, like Telltale, we've talked about it several times. They've been making a ton of games.
Oh yeah,
like they've been making. It's just been pumping out stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy haven't played it. We've talked about how bad the engine has been. Batman, the episode that I played, has been good so far. But The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, The New Frontier has the same old glitchy, engine and everything. And this guy stepped in, and a lot of times when CEOs step in, they make drastic changes for the betterment of the company. They have an assessment of what is going well for the company and what is holding back the company. And if you look back at the older Telltale games, they put out fewer. They were you'd go months without getting a new episode. It would be just like, oh, when's the next Walking Dead episode? I don't know. They don't even know because they're still working on it. They're still crafting it. And it had become where it was like they were just like pumping it out. Like, oh, this month's is Guardian of the Galaxy. This month's Walking Dead. This month's is Batman's new season started. And Batman the first season just wrapped up like 3 months ahead of it. So it's just been that sort of going on, and he's come in and he's made the hard decision. Now, what I hate that this has happened. I really do. For anyone to lose their job, and it's the gaming industry has reached out. They've been, contacting the people that have lost their jobs or putting up links. We're looking to hire people. Come and join our team and all of this. So it's good that other developers and other people are looking out for the people that have been affected by this layoff. Yeah. So I hope that everyone that has been affected does get a job, and very, very quickly, especially like it's very hard. We're rolling right into the holiday season. I can only imagine how people are feeling right now if they're one of the 90 people that have been affected. So
you want them to land on their feet. But when it comes, like you said, every time a CEO steps in, there's going to be some cleaning house. And he even said that it has no, like, the reason that they're being let go has no, correlation to their work. Their work is fantastic. Their work is good. It's just that, they're wanting to minimize the team to maximize the game. Yeah.
Be more nimble like they used to be. Supermassive psychological horror VR game, The Inpatient, has been delayed to 2018. Supermassive, best known for the creators of Until Dawn, one of my favorite games of all time, announced that the studio's upcoming psychological horror VR game, The Inpatient, has been delayed into 2018. This is also in the same universe and the same sanatorium that is in Until Dawn. Yeah.
I was reading this and I was like, oh, I thought it was coming out in 2018.
No, it was actually supposed to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. Yeah. But they were really, really quiet. Derek posted this, and I was like, they've been really, really quiet. I was like, I was feeling that they were about to do this. The Inpatient is a prequel set in the same universe as Until Dawn. It takes place in the Blackwood Sanatorium in the 1950s, where the player takes the role of an amnesiac patient. Amnesiac patient who is trying to figure out why they've been committed. The PSVR title was supposed to release on November 21st, but has now been delayed to January 23rd. Supermassive also noted that another one of its PSVR games, Bravo Team, is also being delayed. Instead of its initial release date of December 5th, Bravo Team will now release March 6th. Now, I'm looking forward to The Inpatient.
I like scary games, and I think being immersed in the world of a scary game is going to make it even better. With delays, yes, people are wanting to play these games, and you back yourself into a corner by putting the date on
it. We talked about it last week. Yeah, PlayStation really, really we're not putting a date on anything until we know
you're going to get this around this time,
whenever we say.
Yeah, and I would rather someone push something back. I know we've stated this numerous times, but I would rather someone push something back
and give us quality.
Than be like, sorry guys, we already said we're going to put this out, so we're going to go ahead and put it out. It's not finished, but don't worry. In about 3 weeks, we'll update it.
Yeah, well, and Supermassive has just put out a game right now that is on your phone, it's like a party game-ish thing, but you play as cops or something. I haven't watched all of it. I don't remember the name but they would have put out 3 games this year. So that they're being stretched thin, and I don't know how big Supermassive is. So I'm glad that they're pushing this back. But January is a long time away. But I got something that's available right now. Ooh. Hulu has come to the Switch. Nintendo's newest console has seen a good library of games the first year, but the video streaming options have been non-existent to this point. That has been changed as Hulu has come to the Switch eShop. Hulu The subscription service Hulu is known for delivering quick access next day in many cases to television shows after they air. It has also placed host to several movies as well as exclusive shows like The Path and The Handmaid's Tale. Their streaming app will join the eShop already.
Now, Netflix isn't available yet, is it?
Netflix is not available.
Now, I think this is going to open up something that's going to be good for the Switch because, when you're traveling, yes, you can play your games, but sometimes you also want to watch some TV. Yeah. And I think Hulu coming to it, I think also, Netflix will come to it in time. Yeah. There's multiple things that you can, go through to be able to stream something, and I think coming to the Switch is a very good idea, and I think that's going to even sell the Switch even more.
Speaking of Netflix, I've got two things I took out of here, okay? Marvel TV shows that's on Netflix, they're not going to make any more seasons on Netflix.
I wonder why.
They're going to be on the Disney streaming service.
I wonder why.
The Disney streaming service is supposed to be cheaper than the Netflix service.
I wonder why.
Now,
so there you go.
Has this been confirmed?
It's in articles. They're not on here.
Oh, so that was on the other articles?
Yeah, I cut those.
That's fine.
Cut those. Sorry, everybody.
We've talked about it quite a few times on here.
Disney is out for blood.
Yeah.
Disney's always out for blood.
Did you see the whole LA Times thing?
No.
LA Times did a whole article on, Disney, profiting off of the Anaheim, city, almost to, a absurd amount. Because they get tons and tons of tax breaks and all of that. And the LA Times published this, and Disney revoked their right to pre-screenings and all of this. And there was a bunch of newspapers and people that cover their movies and guilds and all of that banded together and said, we will not review, we will not give preview anything, we will not talk about trailers or castings or anything in any of our publications unless you rescind this irrational thing. And Disney was like, oh, sorry.
that's our bad.
We were just kidding, right, guys?
So
right?
even a big corporation like Disney
can be brought to their knees.
Yeah, can be brought to their knees.
Little people got to stick together.
Yeah.
In a few years, though, it'll be harder.
It will be harder.
They're getting higher and
they're
higher.
Getting cocky. They're getting cocky. You know who else got cocky one time? That boy that didn't die.
That Potter boy.
That boy that lived.
Okay. Before we move on, specific example. What do you mean? You're trying to make a segue, but you know me. I need specifics.
Oh my god! See, segues aren't supposed to be specific.
No, they're not.
No, but for this, it needs to be.
He got all cocky. He was Dumbledore's army. He's like Dumbledore's army, and then he got in trouble.
That wasn't his idea.
I don't care. Anyway, Harry Potter.
Look at how he carries himself.
AR game coming from Pokemon Go Studio. Jesus, I had an awesome segue and murdered. Murdered. Niantic Labs is developing a Harry Potter augmented reality game titled Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Following the success of Pokemon Go for a projected 2018 release, Niantic found massive success last year when the developer debuted Pokemon Go, a mobile game that combines crashes and bad servers. Their location-based augmented reality software with the beloved Japanese property ever since Pokemon Go was released, there were several crashes. Fans of Harry Potter have hoped for a similar game to be developed based on The Boy Who Lived, given the world of JK's Rolling Fantasy novel series is just as, if not more, expansive than Pokemon. I wouldn't say that.
It depends on what the game is.
Yeah. The first of Rowling's Wizarding World novels was published in 1997, and it's unclear how exactly Harry Potter Wizards Unite works in certain specific aspects from the book and film series, such as locations of wizarding schools like Hogwarts or Ilvermorny.
Yeah, that's the American Wizarding School.
Oh, cool. All right, whatever. As well as the wizard sport Quidditch. Additionally, since each of Niantic's games splits its users up into teams, players of the Harry Potter World Wizards Unite may be split into the 4 Hogwarts houses, though that remains to be seen. There's still a great deal we do not know yet about this planned game, but since Niantic is working with Warner Brothers to produce Harry Potter Wizards Unite, fans should rest assured knowing that the companies will create a mobile app that also allows fans to get close to living in the world of Harry Potter as if possible, but then it'll crash.
Now, it's not coming as a surprise, but Team Slytherin, baby.
Oh, yes. Yes, I would high-five you, but I'm over here.
Now, I'm really hoping that this game is good.
So, like, you're going to grab your phone. This is not a phone. This is a power brick. But you're going to be like, pew, 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 and your phone is going to just, like, fly out of your hand.
I'm thinking it's going to be like especially if you're fighting a Death Eater. I think it's going to be similar to that, but you know how sometimes when they do a spell, like they get like, I think it'll be like for the Expelliarmus, it's like you spin around twice and then throw it up. Or
this game already exists, and I have it on my phone, and I'm trying to pull it up, but apparently I have to update it. It's like you could do it with either like on your phone, like motion stuff, or you could use like the actual movements, and you could duel another person. And it's been out for 10 years, maybe.
On the phone?
Yeah, maybe not 10 years.
Have we had smartphones for 10 years?
Yeah, no, I was saying that. And I was like, that doesn't feel right, but it has to be.
It was 2007 iPhone? I don't remember.
Within the last 10 years.
Okay, so Harry Potter, big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Big following, just like Pokemon. I think it will do well. I don't know how it's going to translate yet. I think it could do well, but Pokemon just it's perfect because you like even in the games you are going to catch Pokemon. You're traveling around the world. Harry Potter's like, oh, I'm going to school. Hello, Mr. Dumbledore. Hello. Oi, come down! It's like, how did this orc get in here? But, got Professor McGonagall over there being all weird. Just,
She's sitting there going, I can't believe I have to go through this again. I already had to teach his father once. Please, not again, please.
Oi!
My name's Harry Potter.
I do think we see a lot of the aspects from Pokemon Go. I think you're going to see a lot of it
you
from...
You pronounce it wrong. It's Pokemon.
Pokemon Go. I think you're going to see a lot of the creatures from
Fantastic Beasts.
The Fantastic Beasts, like the lava hippo rhino thing. Mm-hmm. Different things like that. The little gold stealing penguin thing. And I think that's what you're going to do. I think you're going to be doing a lot of catching with that. But I mean, other than that, are you going to fight Death Eaters? Or are you going to
You're gonna find Death Eaters. Like, there's a video. I don't know if it's what the game's supposed to be. Death Eaters, and then the Dementors, and
the Dobbies.
Yeah, you have to like collect socks around town, and then find houses and be like, "You're free, you're free, you're free."
Or you capture them.
What? No.
No socks for Dobby.
No.
You just burn like all the socks in front of Dobby. But Dobby's dead. You know what's not dead though? Aaron Stephen Amell wrestling career. He's set for the Ring of Honor wrestling appearance. Stephen Amell from the CW's Arrow is set to make a return to the wrestling ring, but this time it won't be with WWE. Now WWE's got all this kind of stuff going on: Survivor Series, NXT Takeover, Raw, and SmackDown Live that's coming up, and they're bringing in Shawn Michaels to be a guest referee and all this kind of stuff, all that good stuff for NXT. And this is all taking place in San Antonio. And everybody's like, oh, what they're doing all this? Well, it's because of Stephen Amell. On the very same night in San Antonio, Ring of Honor, the second largest wrestling promotion in North America, will also be running a show. It looks like WWE has added Michaels to the card as a special guest referee to draw more fans to their show who may have been considering heading to watch the Ring of Honor instead. Ring of Honor has fired back. Blah, 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 blah. When NXT shows, there is nothing hardly about Stephen Amell in this article. So that's cool. Stephen Amell is coming back to wrestling.
I enjoyed his fight against Goldust last year.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes. Yeah. You mean Stardust?
Stardust. I forget.
Yeah, Goldust is the more
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more gold one.
The more gold one, also very flamboyant and crosses a lot of lines.
But with Fighting Stardust, I enjoyed it. I like how, Stephen Amell can come into the wrestling ring and use a lot of what he does best on the show. Like a lot of the stuff.
The Salmon Ladder.
Hey, he killed it on Ninja Warrior.
Oh, I know he did.
But I think this is a good idea. I like him coming on to wrestle. I like watching him wrestle people.
Wrestling.
Wrestle.
It ain't wrestling. It's wrestling. Now this one should have some good stuff in it. Unlike that one. That was more about WWE than everything than this. Lord of the Rings TV series has been in development. Warner Brothers Television is in talk to develop a live-action series based on J.R.R. Tolkien novels, The Lord of the Rings. The film franchise of the same name was released by Warner Brothers from 2001 to 2003 and became a massive success for the studios combined. The three films garnered a whopping 17 Oscars and hundreds of others wins and nominations. Given the success of the original trilogy, it is not a surprise that Warner Brothers continued the franchise in 2012 with The Hobbit. This launched the next trilogy of Tolkien adaptations, which The Hobbit shouldn't have been 3 films, it should have been 2, but whatever. The next step by WB is to launch a new project to continue to capitalize on the franchise, a TV series, aka cash grab.
Cash money.
Warner Brothers is in talk with Amazon Studios about a potential Lord of the Rings TV show, according to the sources at THR. The project is still in its earliest stages with no writer attached and plenty of issues with the Tolkien estate to be worked out before work could really begin. Although it's stressed that the project is still in its embryonic stage and there is no guarantee that this will ever make it on screen, it is clear that Warner Brothers is interested in creating more Lord of the Rings properties. Issues with the estate may well get in the way, though, given that Tolkien estate has previously sued over the way the royalties from the films were handled. However, the various lawsuits and countersuits were settled earlier this year, which would mean that this property is once again available for adaptation. Of course, even if this project should come to fruition, it will take some time to go from early talks to a season 1 premiere, and there are plenty of potential issues along the way. It is difficult to readapt a film season that was so spectacular, and critical failure of The Hobbit proves that this world is not an easy one to recreate. Fans of the originals may love a new version of the story, but there is also a solid possibility that the series would simply find it impossible to live up to the films.
Oh, it's definitely going to have issues living up to the films. I love the first Lord of the Rings trilogy. I will forever go down loving those.
Yeah.
I want it to be good because I want more Lord of the Rings. I want to find a way to go back into Mordor, into that world. Will the film be great?
I've got a story for him.
Oik Ubna.
Yeah. Perfect.
Takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it follows an orc. It doesn't like follow Bilbo and all of that. Like it follows a lonely orc that just wants to make other people suffer like he did.
Oik.
Here's their real solution, though. I talked about this, because we didn't talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, because I think you and Amy were talking about it.
What they need to do is it's too soon. Like, even, the time it'll take to actually get this to happen, it'll still be too soon to redo the movies into a TV show. What they need to do is, because there are so many other books that Tolkien wrote that take place in Middle-earth, is... The biggest one is the Silmarillion, which is the history of Middle-earth.
Yeah.
So do it on that. And then if it does well, by the time they finish all that stuff, if they really want to keep doing it, then they can do those.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, the series would have, if they do it kind of like the movies, it will have a hard time living up to the movies. But if they do it right, it will live up better to the books.
Yeah. I think having a TV show gives them a lot more time to explore characters that got cut from movies. And, I would love to get more of Sauron, I'd love to get me some more Sauron.
His whole history and story and everything is super cool.
Yeah.
I want to see Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
You know who I want to see?
Sam.
Sam.
No, Super Bob.
That's another thing is that I could never have anyone else play Sam or Frodo for me.
No, Super Bob.
Super Bob. No, don't say things. Spoilers.
He doesn't have the guts anymore to do that. New Star Wars Trilogy is being directed by Rian Johnson. Lucasfilm has just announced Star Wars The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson is developing a new trilogy in the Star Wars universe that is outside of the Skywalker saga. Johnson is inching closer to launching the second installment of the Lucasfilm relaunch live-action Star Wars brand, and all the indications are as he has nailed it. Many are so excited for this film, in fact, that that he was a heavy favorite to take over Star Wars Episode 9 when Colin Trevorrow, I always get that guy's name messed up, left. But he passed. J.J. Abrams took over it. And everybody was like, why? What's wrong with him? Is it rain? Ryan, okay, whatever. Why did Ryan pass on this? Well, of course, he's developing a new Star Wars series. Lucasfilm announced that Rian Johnson is developing a new trilogy for Star Wars, in which he will direct the first installment. Johnson will also be joined by his longtime collaborator Ram Bergman. The new trilogy will star new and original characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never before explored. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said the following about the deal. We've all loved working with Rian on The Last Jedi. He's a creative force, and watching him craft The Last Jedi from the start to finish was one of the great joys of my career. Rian will do amazing things with the blank canvas of the new trilogy. We had time of our lives collaborating with Lucasfilm and Disney on The Last Jedi, Johnson and Bergman said in a joint statement. Star Wars is the greatest modern mythology, and we're very lucky to have contributed to it. We can't wait to continue with this series of films. Most of the attention here is going to be on the excitement and endless possibilities that the creative minds like Johnson will create. But let's also take a moment and look at what brought Johnson to this place. As if there were doubts The Last Jedi was going to deliver, Lucasfilm locking Johnson down for a new trilogy is clear indicator that The Last Jedi is going to deliver, and Lucasfilm knowing that they have a hit film director and soon even more blah, 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 blah. So that says a lot to me. It says a ton to me. Last Jedi, December can't get here fast enough now.
You are not lying.
They loved him some Rian Johnson, and I think I know Derek met him down at Star Wars Experience. Said he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He follows directions, but he's also creative, and he doesn't try to throw his weight around as a creative person like Colin Trevor, and the guys that were over Han Solo, because like they cutting people left and right. You know, they're like Marvel. We're like, you don't do what we tell you.
You're gone.
We're going to send Oig after you. But what I'm most excited about, and some people are outraged. Some people are like, we don't need any more Star Wars. Y'all are doing too much. Too much. And I'm just like...
Is there ever enough Star Wars?
I'm like, okay, this coming from... where I know I own over, sorry everybody that all the audio people, I just hit the mic. Like there was over like 300 extended universe books. Way over that. But now we're getting more films. Why are we angry about that? And like I can understand, we're getting close to diluting the product. If it's bad, then yes. But all the movies so far have been fantastic.
And I agree 100%. Like I know yours is in the 300s. Mine's closing in on the 100 number. Excuse me. Of Star Wars books. Yeah. And I know the Thrawn trilogy, the Bane trilogy. There's just so many great books that would make great movies.
Yeah.
And I think with them saying going to a corner of the universe, we haven't really.
Yes.
That's where I was thinking, because in the Thrawn book, he's hidden out on this planet where Thrawn was exiled, and he gets on the ship, and then blah 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 blah, and I would love a story of Thrawn. Thrawn's already been it's already canon now because of Star Wars Rebels. So seeing a story about Darth Bane, I mean, there's just so much that can be done that I feel like should be done in the movies. And I mean, until we get a bad Star Wars movies, I don't think there's an issue with going forward with making these newer movies. Bringing in characters. I would love to see Mara Jade.
Yeah, but they're not doing Skywalker Saga anymore. Like, that's done after 9. I'm curious to see whether, like, when they say different corner of the galaxy, I think it's going to be far away. I don't think it's going to be, like, timeline far, like, early. Yeah. I think it's going to be, like, totally different place. Allie, what's your take on it?
I think it'll be really cool. It'll be a nice, like, fresh start, because then it's, like, not, like, fresh start, but, we're so used to all these Skywalkers hecking up the galaxy and stuff, so now it's like, oh, we get to go see some other people's problem. I really hope that in, like, the beginning they'd say, like, in a galaxy far, 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 far away. Like, they, like, add, like, at least, like, 1 or 2 extra fars in there. And like, wait a minute.
Even further.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be really cool. The thing about people being, like, really upset, like, why are we getting more movies? And while there are all these, books out there from the extended universe, at least, like, the canon ones, I know they threw out all the extended universe when they started remaking the movies. It's pretension. It's people going like, I have all these books, and so I know what's in there, and so all this media stuff, that's just it's out there, so people know it. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like the people that read Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, I know what happens, and then we went past the books, and like everybody's like, there's. You're like, well, we're all in the same place now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't see issues with that. Like I said, unless they put out a bad product, I say, go for it. Spread the gospel.
I was forced to see that new Last Jedi trailer because I've been trying, just as like a general thing, I'm trying to avoid trailers more, just because I want to be surprised when I go see a movie. But whenever I went and saw Thor Ragnarok, which was really good, they showed the Last Jedi trailer, and you were right. You were like, "Don't watch it." And I was like, I watched it.
So much
and I turned
away.
to my friend. I was like, if what I think happens is going to happen, I will hunt them down and murder them myself.
Yeah, because if that is truth, like what was in there, like they gave away like huge plot.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be tricky editing, or there's something else going on in the scene.
No, not Rey. It was another part. I'm not going to talk about it.
What did you think of Korg?
Oh my friend and I thought my friend, we were just like, he came on screen, we really we love him.
Yeah, like instantly you fell in love with Korg.
Yeah, it was like,
he's like, what's up guys, starting a rebellion, you want to join?
At the end where they're like, oh, where's this, I'm not to say names so I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, where's this person? It's like, oh, he's dead, I crushed him earlier. And then it's like, oh no, he's not dead, okay.
So there you go, guys. There is all the nerdy news that you need to know. If you enjoyed the episode, go ahead, hit that like button, share it with somebody that you love, because if you don't share it, then you must not have love in your heart.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have love. All you need is love.
Love in your heart.
All you need is love.
Okay. So there you go, guys. If you want to get all of this early, all you have to do is go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Go support us there. You can watch us do it live, or you can get all the edited nice stuff and all that good stuff. You get podcasts just like this one early. You get Let's Plays early, all that good stuff. And it also helps us out a ton. The more people we get supported by and everything, the more we can give back to y'all, because that's how it is. It's not like, oh, we're making that crazy that mad YouTube money. You know,
we ain't making mad YouTube money. I promise you that.
So anything that you give to us, we give back to y'all in a better product. So if you can't toss us those dollars, then you can get this broken up segment by segment, day by day, until we put out the whole thing on Friday. But we do appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Oh God. So thanks everybody for that. We're going to be doing more and more awesome stuff because of you. We are looking at November. What is it? November 25th for our community game night or game day, whatever we decide on So go ahead and pencil that in on your calendars. We're going to be playing something. Don't know yet. If you got suggestions, put it in the comments. Message us. Put it in the Facebook group or Facebook page. So we're looking for something that more and more people can get into. Jackbox Party Pack went really well this past month. So looking for something that where everybody doesn't have to like buy a $60 game. But you know, Star Wars Battlefront will be on as well too. But anyway, so
we digress.
Yeah, we digress, guys. Thanks again. This has been Zach
and Robbie.
Have a week.